country singer, voice contestant, and advocate for the Alzheimer's Association, which we'll get into all of this. We say good morning to Jay Allen. But first, I've got to ask, Jay, what does it feel like to be fought over by Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani?
It's weird.
Right?
I never saw that coming.
Right?
I never saw that coming. I was conflicted, but at the end of it, I mean, I've been touring and, coming back home to Nashville through the Nashville airport for years now. And every time you come home, it's Blake Shelton everywhere. His face is everywhere. His bars in the airport. Everyone loves Blake Shelton and respects him. So
yeah, no,
I'm in the world of country music, so I got to go that route, even though I love Gwen so much. But it was definitely a plot twist.
Yeah, for sure. And look, I mean, I think you're going to do great with Blake. One of the first things he said about you when he first saw you, when the chairs turned around, said you looked like an MMA fighter. You ever done any fighting, any wrestling or boxing or anything?
No, I thought that was so funny. I was a wrestler growing up and in martial arts, things like that, but I never took it any farther than that. So
right. Okay.
I guess it's the tattoos. I'm just glad he didn't call me Adam Levine.
No, I get that. I get that. And we'll talk more about your tattoos. I've got a question about that. But let's get back to how I love that you live your life so transparently and tell your mom's story on social media and to anyone out in the public so transparently. You've become a huge advocate for the Alzheimer's Association. Your mom's story and the song you wrote for her called Blank Stares continues to make a difference. Tell me about your mom for those who might not know your backstory.
Yeah, my mom was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's when she was 51. Her name was Sherry Lynn. It took her life in about 2 years and 9 months. It was very, very quick, and they call it early onset because she was so young. I was living in Nashville already. I'm from a little town in Iowa, northeast Iowa, Cedar Falls, Iowa. I'll never forget, my dad called me and he said, Jay, I got to let you know, your mom called me this morning. She's been going to the same place of work for years and years and years, but she called me crying. She pulled over on the side of the road and forgot where she was going, asked him to come pick him up. So I was like, man, that's when we knew, So she was officially diagnosed then. And they made the drive from small town Iowa to Nashville. Every 2 hours, she'd call me and said, Jay, prepare your heart. It's going to be the hardest thing you've ever gone through. I can tell you what, that no one can prepare their heart for their own mother to open the door of their home and look right through them, not know who they are. So we took her out dancing. I just wanted to escape that terrible moment. And we experienced the power of music that night. We went to a really well-known venue and walked in, opened up the door, and she saw the band. She heard the music. And people that have dementia have a glossy blank stare in their eye. And that went away when she saw the music. So I pulled her to the front of the stage. We slow danced to a fast song. I remember my mom took a deep breath and she leaned in and she said, I love you, son. I miss you so much. It's so good to see you.
Yeah.
That's when I realized the true power of music, and that's when I was inspired to write this song, Blank Stares. And I'm really, really proud to say that, my mom has since passed. She passed February 24th, 2019. But I've continued to go out on the road and bring awareness to this disease and raise money to help fight against it. We've raised over $50 million to fight against Alzheimer's. So that is my purpose, and that is the real true reason why I decided to go on board.
Man, you were doing the hard work. You're doing the important work. Every time you tell me your story, I still get chills. And I found it important, and I love how you said your mom's name because, again, we've talked before, and I always believe people die twice. They suffer their physical death, and they'll die a second time when people stop saying their name. So, 100%. Now back to the voice real quick, and then we're going to get on to weddings and tattoos. But your voice that you did for the battle round, Leather and Lace. Did you get to choose that, or was that something the show told you had to sing?
That was actually a round where we weren't able to choose our song, okay. Which I thought ended up being really cool. I trusted the producers with everything they did. And they paired me up with Cara Brindisi, first of all. She went to school to be a music therapist, and she lost a grandparent to Alzheimer's. So we had a lot of connectivity, and we related a lot behind the scenes. We became really close friends because of that. I love that she's used her music and her ability and her gifts to help others, So it was an easy fit. Song-wise, it was interesting because it's such a classic song, a timeless song. I think not a lot of people think of it, but once they hear it, they're like, especially if you're a little older, you hear it, you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, I remember that song. I love that song.
Yeah,
so my dad raised me on all the classics, and big fan of Don Henley, obviously, what a legend. So they kind of redo a Stevie Nicks Don Henley song was very challenging, but also rewarding. So I'm glad how it turned out.
I love that. And we can't look into the future and we can't talk about what happens from here. But I will say, I want you to win, obviously. But whatever happens, it's really great you made that connection with your battle round partner. And that'll hopefully produce a lifelong friendship for the two of you. So
Thanks, JJ.
The voice is one thing. Ever had the bug to like do any TV acting or movie acting?
You know what? Now I kind of have the bug.
Yeah. See, first.
I learned a lot about TV really fast. I've spent some time in LA now, and it's a lot of hard work. I'm used to just having a couple beers and then going on stage and doing my thing. And this is so much prep work, and TV is what you see is not always what actually happens.
No. What? Hell you say, Jay Allen. Don't you tell me that.
I know. Surprise. Yeah, but I mean, for me, it's like cool to see how they edited it and into a positive thing.
Yeah.
And from my perspective, it was a very good experience. So I'd love to do more TV stuff.
All right, love it. Now, you and your fiance, fellow country singer Kylie Morgan, had a big day planned, your big wedding day planned, and then Mother Nature had other things in mind. Hurricane Ian rolled through and kind of wrecked your plans a little bit. Where are you at on this? Have you got a new date, or are you just going to go to Vegas and get married at like the Elvis Chapel or something?
We thought about it, man. On the day, we were supposed to get married, I had kind of two goals. Number one, my husbandly duty is to get her out of town, have kind of a weekend getaway, let her wear a wedding dress for a night. So I took her to New Orleans. And while we were, in New Orleans enjoying ourselves, for the weekend, we were also glued to our phones. On our actual wedding day, we were glued to our phones and our computers planning a benefit concert, which we just had the other night here in Nashville, with all proceeds to go help Fort Myers Beach. And I'm very proud to say we helped raise $65,000 in one night.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, that was our first. My first thought was how do I get there and help out? And we have so many friends and family there, and that's why we're going to get married there. And they canceled our flights. They shut down the airport, shut down the bridge. So there's no way I could get there. Everyone told me don't try to get here. So my next thought was I've been touring the country, helping putting on benefits, raising money for Alzheimer's, a different cause. But I can translate that to this. So I rallied the troops in Nashville, some, really big names, all these musicians, artist friends of ours that are making music full time. They get paid to play shows that, we made an ask and they all said yes. So Walker Hayes was one of them. He showed up and we played for about 3.5 hours the other night. And, I'm really proud to see our community of Nashville rally around us when we needed them the most. It really was a proud moment, even though there's a lot of sadness. In this time, it was nice to have a proud moment, and a lot of our friends from Fort Myers Beach actually showed up as well.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Really special moment, and we have planned a new date, November 27th. There's actually a venue in Fort Myers Inland that wasn't affected that offered their venue to us once they heard the story. So they're going to have a really blessed wedding. And
nice.
Kind of thankful for how it went down. Just through our trials and tribulations. Better things come.
And look, I mean, the reception's already taken care of. You got Thanksgiving leftovers. I mean, who doesn't like Thanksgiving leftovers, right? I mean, come on, stuffing and turkey and some cranberry sauce. I'm here for it.
That's right, man. I'm down for that. I also wanted to make it BROB, but Kylie said no.
Oh, man. You know what? Well, there's still time. Now, have you picked a first dance song? Can you tell me what that is?
We actually have a really good friend of ours, Sam DeRosa. She's a songwriter, artist from L.A. She was on the show Songland. She's actually in our wedding, and she can perform a song that Kylie and I wrote together for us at the keys. So it should be really special. The first time anyone's heard the song.
All right, excellent. Well, let's finish up. You mentioned your tattoos earlier. Those have a lot of special meanings in how transparently you live your life. You sometimes will get tattoos with fans of yours and listeners, all with some big meaning behind them. What's your last tattoo? What's the latest tattoo you got?
Oh, man. So on my hand, I got I Still See You. My song Blank Stares. And the hook line is I Still See You in between the blank stares. And so I got that on my hands. It's everything on my body is so when people look at me aesthetically, they can see what the tattoo is, but this is the one that I got that it's just for me, the way that it's written and the angle of it. It's just so I can be reminded every day, what I've been through, that I have a purpose, and it's my obligation to continue, even though my mother passed away, to still be a light and bring awareness to this disease. It's really hard to do. It's grueling. I have to relive it over and over and over again every time I do it, every time I play, every time I tell the story. But just remind myself to keep on track and continue being a soldier for that. So that's the latest one, man.
I love it. Well, Amy and I are getting ready to get our wedding tattoos finally. So we're going to get those in November. But listen, next time you roll through Wichita, you and I are going to get some ink, okay?
I love that, JJ.
All right. Hey, any excuse to get another tattoo, right?
That's right, man. I'm just running out of skin now,
No,
so
I
I
get
may
that.
have to borrow.
Okay, all right. I'll see what I can do. I got plenty. Jay Allen, country singer, voice contestant, fiance in waiting, and advocate for the Alzheimer's Association with a great story to tell. I appreciate you taking the time this morning.